Well, I think it's easy to be discouraged with the way things look right now in Congress and Washington in general. But when you come down to it, there are so many things, whatever it is that you're interested in, uh, policy that you're interested in changing, or something you're interested in doing, something you you have a passion about. It's still most often, because the government has so much influence, that's where you need to go to make a change. You can make a difference other places, and I certainly don't, not saying you can't, uh, but government is a unique place. We have a government, we have a, you know, democratic republic where we have elected officials who, you know, make these decisions, pass laws, uh, and so it still is the place where you can make a significant difference. And if you want to get something done, it's a very important place you can go to try to get something done and get a policy change, and you can still make a difference. It's still possible for individuals to make a difference. I was first elected in 2004, and the in Congress has gotten much more partisan since that time. And as other people have said, our parties are becoming more like parliamentary parties, where everyone believes the same things. There's top-down leadership of the party rather than bottom up, where you have people who decide at the local level, I'm going to be a Democrat, I'm going to run for Congress, or I'm a Republican, I'm going to run for Congress. You come together in Washington. So much more is directed from the top down. This has been going on for a number of years, but I think in the last 10 years it's gotten even more pronounced. And both parties now are so much more ideologically homogenous. People believe the same things. You don't have as much overlap. There used to be where you'd have in the middle, you'd have members who basically voted very similarly. Some were Democrats, some were Republicans. Now you have two parties that are very much more separated in ideologically, and there's little room in the middle, and so there is less incentive and fewer people who are trying to bring the two sides together. And I don't think that's not good for our country. And it used to be much more of a sense, I think, after an election, members of Congress come to Washington, every 4 years a new president or presidential election. Everyone looks around and says, okay, what can we get done in the next 2 years before the next election with who we have here? Who can we work with? What can we get done? Now I think there's more of a sense of both parties look at it and say, when we get control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, then we can do what we want to do. Until then, we're just going to focus on getting control of everything. We're not going to work with the other side to get things done. We are working to get control of everything so we can get our agenda passed. That's more like a parliamentary system. But we don't have a parliamentary system. That's not the way our system works. But that's the way the parties are becoming. And I just think that's bad for our nation. Well, I go back a little bit further. I came to Duke. I was unique as a getting opportunity to enter graduate school in political science at Duke, because I did not have a political science background. I took two political science classes as an undergrad, Intro to American Government and Intro to International Relations. I took that pass-fail. I had a background in economics, engineering, economics, systems analysis, and I think Duke had at the time, and I know still has, a focus on using those types of disciplines, the economics, microeconomics, in analyzing politics, government. So I brought that into Duke to begin with. and I bring that into what I do now. And my experience at Duke sort of added into that much more of an understanding of the way Congress works. I also studied the media in, as a, my areas were Congress and political communication. And all those helped me to do my job right now and to also understand better how everything interconnects. I think that's also another piece of it. I know I talked to other members of Congress, and I know when I was a political scientist and I interviewed members of Congress, they would understand their piece. They would understand what they do. And as long as they can get reelected, as long as they can get some things done, they weren't interested in seeing looking at the whole picture. As a political scientist, I'm always looking at the whole picture and how everything works together, not just in Congress, but in all of Washington, how it all comes together. And I'm interested in that, and I also think it helps me makes me better able to get things done, because I can understand and see the big picture. And if one road is blocked, I think I have a better sense of where else I can go, what other direction I can go to try to get something done. So I think I bring a unique perspective, and certainly the political science background helps me as a member of Congress.